How many of you have a jar in your fridge right now that you simply cannot open? You twist the lid, you tap it against the counter, you run it under hot water, and finally you hand it to your spouse or quietly put it back in the fridge. You might laugh about it, but what if that little struggle is actually telling you something important? Because as we get older, we often dismiss small changes as simply getting old. A little trouble opening a jar, a little more effort getting up from the couch, struggling to carry the groceries you used to carry with ease. Feeling less steady when you walk, these may seem like ordinary signs of aging, but sometimes they are your body's way of telling you that you're losing something incredibly important, muscle strength. And here's the good news, losing strength after 60 is not something you simply have to accept. Your body can still respond to the right habits, the right nutrition, and the right kind of movement. The key is recognizing the warning signs early, before a small change becomes a serious limitation. So today, we're going to look at 6 crucial signs that your body may be losing strength after 60, because these signs may start as whispers, but if you ignore them, they can eventually become much harder to ignore. Let's go back to that pickle jar, that innocent, stubborn, vacuum-sealed little jar sitting in your refrigerator door. You reach for it maybe after a long day, thinking you'll just have a quick snack. You wrap your fingers around the lid. You twist with what you believe is a reasonable amount of effort, and nothing happens. So you twist harder, your knuckles go white, your forearm tenses. You might even let out a little grunt of exertion. And still, that lid refuses to budge. You try a dish towel for traction. You run it under hot water. You tap the edge against the counter. And eventually, with a sigh of resignation, you hand it to someone else or you shove it back into the fridge, muttering something about the manufacturer making lids too tight these days. But here is the hard truth I need you to sit with. That lid did not get tighter. You got weaker. And this is not a trivial annoyance. This is not just a quirk of getting older that we laugh about over dinner. This is your body waving a bright red flag in your face. The loss of grip strength, the ability to squeeze, hold, twist, and carry with your hands, is one of the most profound and earliest indicators that your entire muscular system is beginning to unravel. It is not isolated to your fingers and your palms. Your hands are the messengers of your total muscle mass. When your grip weakens, it tells me that your biceps, your triceps, your deltoids, your pectorals, and even your core are all losing their density and their power. It is a systemic signal, not a local one. Let me explain the physiology behind this, because understanding it is the first step to taking it seriously. Your brain communicates with your muscles through motor neurons. Every time you reach out to grab something, your brain fires a signal down your spinal cord to a group of muscle fibers, telling them to contract. As we age past 60, we start to lose those motor neurons. They die off, and the remaining neurons have to adopt the orphaned muscle fibers to keep them alive. This is called reinnervation, and it is the body's desperate attempt to maintain function. But it is a losing battle. Eventually, the surviving motor neurons become overloaded, they fatigue faster, and the muscle fibers they supply begin to shrink, a process we call atrophy. Your grip strength is the canary in the coal mine of this neurological and muscular decay. When that canary stops singing, when you cannot hold a heavy pan with one hand or carry a full grocery bag without switching arms every 30 seconds, it means the reinnervation process is failing. You are losing the very engine of your mobility. Now, think about the consequences beyond the kitchen. That weak grip is what connects you to the world around you. It is what keeps you steady on a bus when you hold the overhead rail. It is what allows you to pull yourself up from a low chair when your legs are tired. It is what stops a fall when you stumble because the instinct to grab onto a railing, a door frame, or even a person depends entirely on the explosive strength of your fingers and your flexor muscles. When that strength diminishes, Your balance compensation mechanisms diminish right along with it. You cannot catch yourself if you cannot grip. You cannot steady yourself if you cannot hold on. And this is why the medical literature has repeatedly shown that grip strength is a more powerful predictor of mortality than blood pressure. Yes, you heard that correctly. A simple hand dynamometer test, squeezing a device for a few seconds, can predict your risk of heart attack, stroke, and all. Cause mortality with startling accuracy. It is not a magic trick. It is simply because grip strength reflects your total functional reserve. It is the sum total of your nutrition, your neurological health, your hormonal status, and your physical activity. Your body is a brilliant, efficient machine. When it senses that you are not using your muscles, it does not keep them around out of sentiment. It breaks them down. It converts that valuable protein into glucose for energy, or it just lets the tissue waste away to save calories. And your hands are the first to feel the pinch because they are the most distal, the farthest from your core. Your body will always prioritize your heart, your lungs, and your brain. It will cannibalize your peripheral muscles to keep your central organs alive. That is exactly what is happening when you struggle with a jar lid. Your body is telling you, I am running low on resources and I am going to shut down the non-essential departments. But here is the beautiful, empowering truth. Your hands are also the first responders to training. They are packed with sensory nerves and motor units that respond rapidly to resistance. You do not need a gym membership to reverse this. You need a simple squeeze ball, a towel to wring out, or just the conscious act of carrying heavier bags. The moment you demand strength from your hands, your brain wakes up and says, "Oh, we need this again," and it starts rebuilding those neural pathways. The atrophy stops, the reinnervation accelerates, the signal to the rest of your body is clear. We are staying strong, we are staying independent, and we are not handing over that jar to anyone. So we have walked through these 6 signposts together. The jar that defies you, the chair that traps you, the stairs that taunt you, the fatigue that blankets you, the reflection that confuses you, and the fear that whispers to you. I want you to pause and look at this list, not as a medical chart of doom, but as a conversation. Your body is not shouting at you in anger. It is speaking to you in a language of sensation, trying to get your attention before the whispers turn into a crisis. It is saying, I am still here, I am still fighting, but I need you to meet me halfway. The signs you have recognized today are not the closing chapter of your vitality. They are the opening notes of a new dialogue between you and your biology, a dialogue that demands your respect. Also promises your reward if you choose to listen. Now, let us address the great lie that society has sold us. We have been conditioned to believe that age is a slow, inevitable slide into helplessness, that muscle loss is simply the price we pay for another birthday candle. But I am here to tell you, with absolute certainty rooted in science, that this is a dangerous fallacy. Your body, even at 70, even at 80, retains the remarkable ability to build new muscle protein in response to resistance. This is called muscle protein synthesis, and it does not shut down because you hit a certain number. It shuts down because you stop asking it to work. Sarcopenia is not a disease of time. It is a disease of disuse. The moment you apply a load, the moment you challenge that grip, that quadricep, that glute, your DNA unravels to release the instructions for repair and growth. You are not a crumbling building. You are a living, adaptive organism that responds to the demands placed upon it. The only inevitability here is the one you permit. But let us take this beyond the clinical and into the heart of your life, because that is where the real victory lies. Why do we actually want this strength? Is it just to open a jar? No, it is to hold the trembling hand of a grandchild as they learn to walk. It is to lift a suitcase onto a train for a trip you have been dreaming about for decades. It is to sit on the floor to play with a dog and get back up without scanning the room for something to grab onto. It is to walk into a room and feel your presence, not your frailty, define you. When you reclaim your strength, you are not just reclaiming muscle, you are reclaiming your identity as a capable, autonomous human being. You are telling the world and yourself that you refuse to be reduced to a collection of aches and limitations. You are asserting that your spirit, which still burns brightly, deserves a vessel that can carry it wherever it wishes to go. So, here is my final call to you, and I need you to feel the weight of these words. The timer is ticking, but not to count you out, to spur you into action. Every day you ignore these signs, your body interprets that as a green light to dismantle another brick in the fortress of your independence. But every day you choose to squeeze that ball, to stand up one extra time, to carry the groceries instead of dragging them. You are sending a thunderous message back. I am not done. I am still here, and I will not go quietly. Do not wait for a fall to wake you up. Do not wait for a doctor to hand you a warning. The warning is already in your hands, literally in your grip. So go home tonight and look at that jar. Do not hand it to your spouse. Do not put it back. Warm it up, dry it off, brace your core, take a deep breath, and twist with every ounce of intention you possess. Whether it opens or not is irrelevant. What matters is that you tried. What matters is that you started. The path to strength begins with a single, deliberate act of defiance against the gravity of age. You are stronger than you think, and it is time to prove it. Thank you, my dear friends, as we come to the close of our time together today. I want to pause and offer you my deepest gratitude. Thank you for giving me your attention, your presence, and most importantly, your willingness to listen. I know that life is busy, that demands are constant, and that it takes courage to sit with uncomfortable truths about our own bodies. But you showed up, you leaned in, you asked yourself the hard questions, and that alone is the first and most powerful step toward change. You have already proven that you are not content to simply let time pass you by. You are here because you care about your future, your independence, and your vitality, and that deserves to be honored and celebrated. I want you to leave here not with fear, but with fire. The signs we discussed are not a verdict. They are a roadmap. Every single one of them points toward an action you can take, a habit you can build, a choice you can make starting this very evening. You now possess the knowledge to interpret what your body has been trying to tell you, and knowledge, as they say, is power. But knowledge without action is just trivia. It is the doing, the daily commitment, the small and consistent victories that will rewrite the story of your aging. So I urge you with all the sincerity in my heart to take this message home with you. Put it on your refrigerator. Share it with your partner, your children, your friends. Let it be the spark that ignites a new chapter in your life. Remember, you are not alone in this journey. Millions of people over 60 are walking this same path, facing these same challenges, and choosing every day to stand up and fight for their strength. And science is on your side. The human body is resilient, forgiving, and remarkably responsive to care. It does not hold grudges. It does not punish you for the years you spent inactive. It simply waits for you to give it a reason to rebuild, and when you do, it rewards you generously. Your muscles are eager to respond to your call. Your nervous system is ready to fire new pathways. Your bones are waiting to be reminded of their density. All they need is your intention, your consistency, and your belief that you are worth the effort. So with that, I bid you farewell for now. Carry this message with you not as a burden, but as a gift. Carry it as a permission slip to prioritize yourself, to honor your body, and to demand the strength you deserve. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for your time, your openness, and your humanity. It has been an honor to speak with you today. May you walk with confidence, rise with power, and live each day with the unshakable knowledge that you are capable of far more than you have been led to believe. Be well, stay strong, take care of yourself, and take care of each other. Thank you and goodbye.